Buckets. I'm here today. I had to wear a decent outfit because I am with fashion designer and artiste, JT, aka JT Made That. And we're going to talk about his journey through fashion and the WNBA. I'm so excited. I'm Jordan Ligons, and this is the Buckets 5. Thank you so much for joining us here today. You are really on the climb in your career with your varsity jackets. I've been seeing them everywhere. So I'm so excited to finally talk to you.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yay! Let's get into it. What age was it that you kind of discovered your passion for design and for sewing and for everything around that?
Yeah, so it was in college. When you play baseball in college, the coaches want you to play summer ball. And basically, your college season ends anytime from late May to mid-June based on how far you make it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like a 2-day turnaround. You get on a flight. All of the summer ball leagues are in like really random cities.
Oh, wow.
So after freshman year, you don't really get a choice. They just kind of assign you to a league. They sent me to Alaska. So I spent that whole summer in Alaska, hated every second of it. That summer was when I realized like this pro life is not for me. This pro ball life is not for me. The next summer they wanted me to go somewhere else, like Michigan or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, I'm going to stay in LA. I was starting to get into fashion. I want to pursue it because this is a great city to do it.
Yeah.
Got really lucky with a mentor, Patrick Christopher. He's a former NBA player. His younger brother is Josh Christopher on the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Met him beginning of the summer, shadowed him for the whole summer, fell in love with it. Loved being around him, so that made it even more fun. That's when it started.
Being able to shadow, what did you learn from that experience?
Just going around. Patrick, he's not afraid to just knock on doors and, sometimes I like to do every step myself with my designs, but sometimes there's some stuff that I don't have an embroidery machine.
Right.
So I have to have somebody do that. I don't have any of those contacts, so I learned from him how to just knock on doors and not be afraid to go in there and you're going to look like an idiot because they're going to answer questions that you don't have the answers to.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how you learn.
Yeah. And you say that, you're a fashion designer exclusively for women's sports.
Yes.
And the WNBA too. Where did that passion come from? You said you played baseball. Where did the passion for women's sports and women's basketball come from?
So I've been going to Sparks games since I was 4. So basically my whole life. I've seen Lisa Leslie play a million times. We used to sit like on the tunnel that they would walk in and out of. So I have dozens of Lisa Leslie autographs. Like she would always stop and sign. So I've loved the W since then. And then I would say also, as a LA kid who was an athlete, like you had no choice but to idolize Kobe.
Yeah.
And so, especially when he passed after his career, when he started having impact in other places, you always see him courtside at the W games. I really was just inspired by that and his advocacy. I think there's nobody in the NBA that has really continued that.
Mm-hmm.
We see Chris Paul here and there, but it's not like Kobe was.
Right.
So I think just was really inspired by Kobe. And obviously once he passed, I wanted to carry that on. Yeah.
And one thing that you said that I loved, you said that the WNBA is not a stepping stone for you. Like you are here to stay. These are your people.
Yes.
What do you think of the fashion landscape within the WNBA? How far it's come versus how players now are really taking style in their own hands?
I think it's going really well. They can dress.
Yes, they can.
And we can get into who can for real. They can really dress. And I know there's some accounts that have been highlighting it. I think GQ's done a good job this year and last year too. They were on it.
Mm-hmm.
League Fits is, but,
they're trying.
They'll throw some W players in there, but it's always the same players who are deserving. But there are also other players who are deserving.
Mm-hmm.
So just seeing them get their shine for what's so unique to me about the W is that if you compare, I don't like comparing it to NBA, but in this case, it's necessary. If you were to take a 6-man in the NBA, 6 through 8 off the bench, and you were a fan of them, you would have to be a basketball fan to be a fan of, like, I'm a Lakers fan, so I'll pick Trevor Ariza.
Yeah.
You have to be a basketball fan. But if you were to pick in the W, 6 through 8 off the bench, You could be a fan of Dejanay Carrington for, how her face is beat every game or her lashes, or you could like, the skincare routine that Izzy dropped on her YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You could love how Diamond dressed. Like there's so many different reasons to be fans of them. And it's really dope to see larger platforms giving that some shine.
You mentioned Diamond. We were talking a little before this that you think she is number one in dressing. Why is that? Why is she your number one?
The versatility is what jumps out for me. Like I said, a lot of them can dress. Diamond, I really just think she's in a world of her own. She experiments, and when you're confident and you experiment, it's not even an experiment, it just works.
Right.
And so everything just works for Diamond. She had a fit like 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago for the Sue versus Diana game. She was wearing this super baggy kind of dress looking thing, kind of like almost bed sheets looking thing, but it worked. Like,
it's so effortless.
Exactly,
that's like
effortless.
What I get jealous of. It's so effortless, but you could tell she's putting, it's a design, it's a craft, but it comes off like, oh, I just threw this on.
Exactly. When it looks effortless, and it always does with her, like that's when you got it like that.
Yes. Oh, that's just making me so jealous all over again. I love Diamond. And you've also dabbled into some styling this season with Ryan Howard at the AllStar Game. What have been those like pinch me moments so far in your journey?
I do want to shout out the actual stylist that put that together. It was Amadi Brooks. She works with Sid Colson and China Robinson. We've been wanting to work together. So when Ryan hit me up about a jacket, I cleared it with Ryan. Do you want a stylist for the rest of the outfit? Wanted to work with Amadi. Made it happen. So she killed the rest of the look. The pinch me moments, I mean, seeing something on the carpet was cool too. And there was this guy, who photographer, like every time somebody would walk out, he'd be like, who are you wearing? Like they do it like the Met Gala or something. And he said it to Ryan. She was like, JT.
That's awesome. How did that feel?
It was crazy. It felt really good. Like you said, and like I said, I'm right where I want to be with this league. And so just to get the recognition and being, that whole weekend was a pinch me moment, honestly. Like getting to, they had me at practice doing shoots with Asia and Stewie, and I was like, how do we get here?
I love those moments. And you created those custom varsity jackets for the All-Stars this season. How did that feel, seeing the top women in the league wearing your designs?
Nuts. It was truly nuts. I can't even like still put it into words. It was only a few weeks ago, and it felt like it felt like I was right where I wanted to be. Like it just felt, I don't want to go design for NBA guys or anything like that. Like this obviously isn't like the peak for me, because I want to continue to work with them and help them grow their platforms by doing what I can do to help. But it was a very like, culmination of a lot of work, because a lot of work went into that weekend.
Yes. I kind of want to talk about that just for a second. What goes into making these custom varsity jackets? Like there's so many details and they're so personalized to each player that wears them. What goes into making them?
It's case by case. Some players like Ryan know exactly what they want. We go step by step. I'll send her a sketch. She'll like it or not. And we continue to trade off sketches until we get to what we want. Someone like I did Dearica and Amaya matching jackets.
So cute.
Dearica basically said, like, she came to LA to play the Sparks at the end of May, and we sat down that day about it, and she was like, I'll see you in Chicago. Just surprise me.
Oh, that has to be a great feeling.
It was cool. Yeah. So those ones are fun because I actually, get to design it, not just make it. But either way, if the athlete or media or coach, whoever I'm doing it for, knows what they want, it's still fulfilling to bring it to life. The All-Star one, like, so usually, like, I can sit down, I'll honestly just start cutting the garment, and then it'll come to me as I'm, like, I usually just skip the sketches altogether because it's just a waste of time for me. Because I just see it. But the All-Star ones, like, those pinstripes were a logistical hurdle, to say the least. and I submitted the sketches to the W, and they said yes. So I was kind of like, I didn't have a choice but to figure out how to make it work. And I never screen printed on wool before. I didn't even know if you could do it because I'm still new to this. Like I was playing college baseball a year ago, so I hadn't even tried it. Took us a few weeks to a few different like screens that didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
I was really low on fabric. My supplier was out of fabric, so I was stressed.
Oh my goodness.
On like, you know, the last few yards of fabric I had, we finally got the stripes right. So that process was stressful, but usually I just kind of start and it comes to me as I'm cutting.
Wow. Well, they looked amazing. I
You.
loved the pinstripes. You would have never known all the drama that was behind the fabric.
It was a lot.
My last question to you is, you kind of hinted at it. What's next for JT? How are you wanting to grow in this space, specifically with the W and with women's sports?
Yeah, so I've been kind of, I guess it's a good opportunity to say it because I've been kind of quiet about what I actually want to do next. I think that the league itself could benefit from a head of design position, which they don't have right now, but there's such an opportunity in women's sports in the merchandise. And I haven't done a ton of merchandise, but I have done it and I enjoy doing it. There's an opportunity for, if it's available, people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to put much on it because there's so little available right now that if a league like the W came out with, I don't know, quarterly merchandise collections, they would all sell out.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, take my money.
Right,
I
exactly.
want it.
That's how I feel too. So I think that would be really fulfilling for me because I would get to design for the league and the players that I love, more so than like starting my own brand and coming out with my own lines right now, at least, maybe down the road. But right now, I think what I would love to do is some kind of head of design position.
Amazing.
Thank
well,
you.
We're speaking, this is what we do here at Buckets 5. We just speak it into existence. We manifest.
Yes.
So I will be sending good vibes
Thank you.
for that. Thank you for being here. This was so much fun to learn behind the scenes of what goes into those incredible jackets. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is a blast.
Yay, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Buckets YouTube channel so you don't miss any more WNBA content this season.